Hello. All right, so I'm just gonna paste this in a couple Discord channels, and then I will get to work. Let's see if Discord is showing it. I'm not sure. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Um, why is it not showing me streaming? I'm sure it will at some point. I'll just refresh, double check. There we go. All right, so today I'm going to be attempting to finish implementing simple voice chat. Again, right here we're in our Minecraft world. Let me actually change one thing. Scale. Maybe I do have view bobbing. Clear space clouds. Let's turn clouds on. Weather. Sure. I just want to make it look good for all of you. And you know what? We can actually do fast or fancy clouds. There. So now we have the 3D clouds. Um, Here, I'll just put this here. Okay. All right, and hopefully this looks decently smooth on my end. I know I changed my max frame rate to 60 frames per second, so my GPU should be able to have more time to actually encode things. But yeah, let's get to actually implementing simple voice chat in Rust again. People have requested that I use dark mode, so let's just try it out for today. And hopefully this will be more reasonable for everybody who doesn't really like dark mode. Usually I use light mode, but I use dark mode occasionally, particularly when it's night, which it isn't now. It's 3:17 p.m. Okay, so right now, and actually I think this meditation music is kind of annoying me. Let's just full send this. There we go. I like that a lot better. The distant thunder. And hopefully that's not too loud for you, but yeah, so right now I am using NATS, NATS, as a way to communicate between the actual game server, which is this thing, the thing that's running this, and we're going to have a separate server to do simple voice chat. So, I just need to finish the actually setting this up. Um, so like here, the server just needs to know about the location of the players. It needs to know if a player is removed or added. I want to break this down into smaller chunks. So let's see if we go like, I just want a checkpoint. Checkpoint. This isn't pushed yet, so it doesn't really matter too much. And then I'm actually going to use cursor, which is a really nice way that we can edit things with large language models. Of course, I'm not going to be using these too much here, but it is nice for breaking things up into smaller parts. Break up into multiple functions so that we do not have as much nesting. Let's see if this does a good job or not. Sometimes it can go a little bit overboard and not really understand Rust ownership rules. Let's see. And if we go back into IntelliJ, definitely not perfect here. So let's see exactly what's going on here. So let's look at this error here. I'm kind of confused what the issue is here. Is this actually a... Well, it's actually a run Clippy. Um, there's... Okay, I see. I think it's... Okay, so it did honestly go a little bit overboard here. That's not how I would have done it. I'm just gonna change. I'm gonna revert what it did here. Do not go overboard. Let's just see if I can just do a little, simple change and not use these impl return types. And then if we do decide we want impl return types, see, it keeps on wanting to do that. So push consumer, and then what is this? This is just messages. So this would be just messages. So let's not use the impl type because that is just really confusing. Okay. And then this I think needs to be an okay. And I'm just gonna make this font a little bit larger for anybody who's watching. Might be on a smaller device. Let's make this 10. Actually, I would prefer going like this. I think it's kind of more clear. And then this also has an issue. If we look at the error type, again, I would think this would be fine, but perhaps it's not. This is weird for me because I think this error is in a box. Can we go like this? I'm curious. Or will this not work either? So it doesn't satisfy standard error. Okay. Maybe there's a feature we need to add onto this. I mean, this looks like we should, like anything that's... I'm gonna remove reader mode here. This reader mode is just entirely super annoying for me. And I can't seem to figure out how to disable it. This is standard error. Like this, I don't know why anyhow would have an issue with this. Isn't this, or is standard error different than standard? Okay. Yeah, I'm really confused. To do, like, maybe this is a bug with the current version I'm on, figure out why I cannot use here. And let's use... I'm just gonna paste this in one more place. All right. Okay. So is this going to roughly work now? Let's see. Unused async. That's very useful. I mean, even if it doesn't, because okay, so it's just weird to me that this isn't using a consumer. It gives off it being a big red flag. Um, Now this is confusing. Okay, wait, no, I'm just unfortunately. This consumer not being used seems very weird for me. Um, it makes me feel like this code is not correct. Okay, actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it is correct because it's returning something that is from the consumer, so maybe it's not needed. Okay, fair. Um, okay, cool. So our game state is how we're going to store all the users here. It's a map of their UUID to their player data, which is going to include this. I think it also is going to be important to denote. I'm just thinking exactly how we want to do this. Um, we're gonna need the socket that they are. We'll need the address of their UDP socket. So, let me just ask. And do I have? I don't think I have. I used to have Kodi enabled. Let's just ask Sonnet. Um, Address UDP. Okay. Is free to communicate. Okay. 1-to-1. Sure. Like it's connectionless, so it might be kind of weird. um, let's see. And this doesn't need to be serialized or anything. And in fact, we have process full game state. Let's remove this here. We don't need this. We're not going to be sending over the full game state. Sockets. And I think this is going to be optional in this case. So if we just add a player, we're not going to have a socket, but then we're going to tell the player to talk to this server. And then we should be able to populate it with the correct socket. So let's go to main again. So we're starting up this message processor. We're looking at messages, we're processing messages. What we're probably going to want to do at some point is just making all of these, this whole message processing thing, I think is going to, this should just be a completely different process. So I'm going to checkpoint again. And let's see if we get cursor, if it is going to be reasonable here. And let's just go like this to get all of this renegade away. Let's see if it's reasonable in saying move, let's say messages, game state, update, make a separate process, communicate with channels, Tokyo. Idiomatic. Let's see if it does a good job. If it doesn't, I'll just do it manually. And gosh, I am bleeding all over the place. My whole finger is red. let's not worry about that too much. Feel free to talk in chat as well. I will be checking there the most. Let's see if this seems reasonable. So we're sending TX to, yeah, this is not really, okay. I mean, it's kind of doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do. It's doing the processing updates in a separate process instead of the actual receiving of messages. So let's tell it to do it the other way around. No, make the actual receiving of messages. And actually, you know what? Let's just do it ourselves. I think it will be easy enough. So let's do like struct. What should we call this? Message. Message channel. Let's actually make this another module. Game messages. Game server messages. This is going to return Tokayo. Yep. That looks right. And then what we're going to do is all of this stuff here is just going to go. Let's literally put all this stuff here into this file. Except this process updates, right? So we're going to want to set up the consumer, and this is going to be, let's make this async. Oops. Anyhow, results. Okay. Gosh, and my IDE is kind of all over the place right now. And then our AI is just kind of being annoying right here. So let's look. Remove player, update UI. A lot of this stuff doesn't need to be used. Do I have the whole messages? Yeah. So we'd have something like this here. Next. Okay. Like all this seems reasonable. And this is the question mark that I'm really confused why we can't use the question mark. To do. Here, I'm just going to plug in my headphones really quick. And it looks like we have to acknowledge it too. I'm actually curious what marking a message as acknowledged does. So you're replying, and it looks like you're potentially replying back to the server that sent you that message. I'm not really sure though. So it's set to all or explicit. Messages have to be awked. So, okay. Otherwise, redeliveries will occur. And the consumer will not advance. Okay, so this is just so we don't get redeliveries of messages. Cool. To do, if streams are faster than PubSub, why do we need to awk? I was told in actually in here to use streams instead of PubSub, and I kind of understand it, but also I kind of don't. So whatever. Okay. Also, we're not sending over the whole game state anymore. So I don't think this is needed. Okay. So what we should be able to do here is just say messages. Let's just call this receiver. Okay. Pretty reasonable. We don't have all of these crazy traits in here now. I don't think this is needed either. And let's actually change this to no, we can keep it as main. Actually, no. Let's change it to a library. Just in case we want to test this at some point. To do, is Bootstrap a good name? Probably. Okay. So we get game server messages. What else are we going to have? We should also have simple voice chat server. Actually, this is the name of the crate. So let's just call this server. So this is going to be the UDP server here. UDP is connectionless, so this might be a little bit weird. Let me just look and ask Sonnet idiomatic UDP Tokyo server in Rust. I just kind of want to see how it structures it here. Again, since it's connectionless. So, yep, you're going to have to bind to an address here. That makes sense. To do make configurable. We can probably add a config actually. Struct config. And I'm trying to think, do we want to have this such that we config it with a YAML file, or we just want to put a bunch of .env variables? I'm not really too sure. I think env. What is the idiomatic Rust crate to parse env variables into struct? If we're kind of doing a Docker solution, it might make, and I think it's going to say env, yeah. Although I did think that there was, for some reason, I did think env was kind of deprecated, and there's a newer one, but I might be imagining. So we're going to want to add, oops. We're going to want to add env. We're going to want to add sturdy with derive. And then let's see how they use env here. Okay. So then let's also make a library, or sorry, a main.rs main. And then front main, Tokyo main. And then we actually need to make some of this stuff public, it looks like. Come on. Oh no, that's not good. I think we actually need to make this struct public as well. Yeah. There we go. And then we'll be able to call bootstrap, which is public. And let's include the config here. Config. There we go. Okay. Cool. All right. So rather straightforward. We're going to want to start the server based on this config. And we can just use a reference to it because we're not actually going to be consuming it. Let's add some methods on top of this. So if we actually get this UDP socket and we bind takes in a 2-socket address. This is implemented for all of these different things. Let's just try to get a socket address from the config. So I'm going to implement this on, okay, this is going to give me a little error here. It's deprecated. Actually, I don't know what I'm even thinking. Const fun socket address. And what is kind of weird to me is that there's a Tokyo one and a non-Tokyo one. Let's try to implement the non-Tokyo one. And see if that works. I thought socket address had a port, no? Oh, it's just the IP. I thought then how are we, I thought this bind thing, didn't it take a socket address? Wait, let me look at this. Socket address, okay, it also has a port, okay. Socket address, use server address and port. Let's just call this host, maybe. That's a better name. Let's IP, or maybe we can call this IP. IP address, anyhow. Let IP. Okay, IP. Let's see if this works. Okay. And then this is, we're just gonna go like this. And then this. And then this is gonna get angry at us for some reason. It's because it's a const function. All right, so now we can go back inside of server and we can get the address here. And this needs to be public. Let's make this public. If we bind to it, it's not going to work because this needs to be async. Let's add an OK at the end. Okay, so let's look back at what Claude is doing. I think what it was doing prior to this, actually, was this okay. Yep, it's just making a buffer that's sufficiently big to do, is this sufficiently big? This sufficiently big? Honestly, probably not. Because yeah, it should probably be bigger, honestly. But we can worry about that later. Okay, so we're receiving from this buffer. Okay. And I really wish there were a way to fix this inline stuff here automatically, but it doesn't seem like there is, probably just because it can break things occasionally. Just not enabled by default. We can remove this since this is a loop. That should go on forever, unless there's an error. So furthermore, we can probably make this, and it's a nightly feature probably, so But let's just add it, even though we don't have to, just because I want to be fun today. And we can always disable it in the future if we decide we want to do that, to make this support stable. Actually, this should not be public. What we want is we want, okay, we have this server. So I'm just thinking how we want to do this right now. Let's make this incoming packets. So this is going to look at incoming packets to this. So I think what we're going to want to make this, we're gonna want to make this different. This is actually going to return an MPSC receiver of one of these packets, right? So packet, and we're not going to implement that yet. Tokyo sync. Okay. Okay. Now, how are we going to do this differently? I already implemented the protocol here. I have all of these here. And I wonder if we want a separate channel for each of them, if you just want to put them in an enum. Exactly how we want to do it. We can probably put them in an enum. Let's just rename this enum packet. Okay. And it's probably, oh, that looks decently fine. And now if we go here, if we go back to server, what we should be able to do is this should be receiver of SVC proto packet. Again, like, this may or may not be the ideal way to do this, having an enum with all of these, since there's honestly a lot of different types here. Like, there could be a better way for sure. This is not how I'm actually doing it in the game server, especially since packet sizes really differ a lot. But sure, like this is maybe what we're going to do for now. Okay, so now we're gonna need to parse these. So I need to look back at simple voice chat. I need to look back at this to see exactly how we are reading packets. I just want to see if so sent to server. You're doing this. So, okay. You are sending a magic byte. So, sent received equals buff length. Okay. Reader, we're gonna put this in a cursor. And then magic equals, this is a U8. So the first value here should be magic. So if we do should be magic, we read this. There's a method. Read you. What? What is this even? Wow. That's a very interesting. Okay. That's cool. But that exists. Again, I'm kind of confused. Okay. This is Tokayo. We don't want this to be Tokayo. We want this to be byte order. Should be magic, and then let's import it from byte order, because this should not be async here. Now, how are we going to do all of this? I think we should, because we don't want to error it for everybody if somebody sends an incorrect packet. Incoming bytes. Actually, okay. What is the largest size of a AV packet? Okay. And is that how many kilobytes is that? What is this in hex? Okay. Okay. This makes sense, hopefully. Okay. So it should be magic. We want to change this. And what we might also want to do is this, if we want this in multiple threads, we might want to have this use bytes instead. So let's just ask Sonnet if we were, let's use bytes instead. How would we do this? Because I want to be sending this over a channel. And I don't want to be cloning things all the time. This seems pretty reasonable, potentially. TX, why is this TX not being used? Okay, because we haven't implemented it. So bytes with capacity, this makes sense. I'd start clear. Is this really needed? If we do this, we'll want these to have bytes here. Is this even useful? Right. Here. I just want to see. I'm just thinking, is this even useful? Because we have this decode and we're not taking in bytes here. We're taking in a byte array, right? So there's going to be copy anyway. And bytes allows you to avoid copies in a lot of cases. But I just want to make things simple for now. Let's actually just not use bytes because it's not going to have any performance benefit unless we change how decrypting works. So let's just make this a buffer of U8. So process incoming bytes received. And this probably doesn't need to be async in this scenario. So let reader equals, we're going to make this into reader, should be magic. And we need to make this mutable. Okay. We're actually just going to be able to, let's do ensure. We love anyhow ensure. And I'm going to be right back in 1 second. I just need to go to the restroom. All right, I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. So, what was I say work? Yes, processing the incoming bytes. Cool. So we're getting these magic bytes. We're getting the UUID of the player, it looks like, and then this encrypted payload. So let's player UUID. And this is, I think this is Big Endian because this is following Minecraft protocol specifications. UUID equals, yep. And Minecraft protocol uses Big Endian for everything except varint and varlong. Okay, so this is going to need to know the secrets of the players. So how exactly do we want to do this? We could use something like a dash map. We could use channels. Hello, how are you? Script plays. In this scenario, I'm going to be using, let's just try to use channels. I think that's probably the best way to approach this. I just need to think about it for a little bit. Yeah, because I want to avoid locking and all that stuff. So, maybe like even this, like okay, let's look at game state here. So game state in this case, we have a map of the player UUID to player data. Player data includes your position, right? And all this other stuff. Could we just have the game state as part of the server here? I think maybe we can do that. What are you working on? So right now I am working on my Minecraft server built in Rust. This is it right here. And I am adding a mod called Simple Voice Chat. So Simple Voice Chat is a mod right here. And it allows you to have proximity voice chat with people who are in the same game as you. So this is pretty useful for, let me just also make sure my microphone is on voice isolation. I don't know actually how to check that. I'm sure I can tell some, maybe it's in here. Voice isolation, sweet. So yeah, it's a way you can have proximity voice chat with people who are near to you. So I'm actually implementing this, the server part of the Minecraft Java mod in Rust, because the rest of the server is in Rust. The goal in this scenario is to get a world record for a 10,000 player PvP event. This is larger than any other PvP event in any game ever. The current world record is held by EVE Online, which is 8,825. Okay. So let's say this is structs. I think we're gonna want to make this a struct now. So let's say this is packets parser, state, which is game state, parser, and then these are going to be elements on it. this should be able to take self, and then this would take mute self. Yeah, thank you. So self.players, we want to see if we can get existing player. If there is no existing player, then we are also going to bail. And then we should have a secret here that we can decode the rest of the packet with. So let position equals, I'm just going to get the rest of the position here. Well, let's call this cursor just so it's more clear. Cursor dot position rest equals, so I'm just going to turn this into, I'm just gonna get this from the cursor. And well, rest equals, and we don't need this as a vec here. Why is this? Yes, we need this as a usize. So this should be what we want to decode. We need to decode this, or decrypt. It's probably decrypt. Decrypt, and then we have our secret, and we have payload. And let's actually make this mutable. Wouldn't it take a lot of time computing power? Or sorry, wouldn't it take a lot of computing power to constantly check if a player is near another player? Yeah, so yeah, so the game server already needs that logic. So yes, it would take a lot of computing power. What we probably would have is we'd have a BVH, a bounding volume hierarchy. And it's just a way to have some type of spatial tree that we can more or less like cluster players or entities or whatever that are close to other entities. So, like ideally, what I'm thinking of doing in the future is instead of all of our messages from the game server being here, let me see where the actual messages are. And let's rename this game server message game to voice. Instead of this just being like update player location, what this could be instead is like update all locations, and then this would be some type of structure which is a bounding volume hierarchy or like approximates it. So if we actually go to, I just want to show you what I'm talking about a little bit more. It would basically be a serialized version of this. So we have our nodes, and so we have our nodes, we have our, in this case, this actually is a bounding volume hierarchy with axis aligned bounding boxes. So you can do a query with axis aligned bounding boxes. In this case, we wouldn't need it to be that big. Like this includes a minimum and maximum position of an entity, because an entity isn't a point. We can make a different one that just has a bunch of points. And with this, we can do queries in O log n, or sorry, log base 2n time, which is going to be a lot faster than what we'd have to do if they were just in a list, which would be O of n for each entity. So yeah, so like maybe what we'd have is we would have something like the game server, which has used a BVH in the past but isn't right now. Maybe it computes if it computed the BVH, it would like send it over to our message server. So right now this could be like Redis, or I think like Stream DB. I don't know what you want to call it. So this could be like Redis. This could be, right now we are using something that's like Redis. That's not Redis. It is called, uh, it is called Nats. This could be Nats. This could be technically like Kafka. Um, and then we would consume it because the proxies right now do need to also get the location of the players because we also have proxies for streaming out packets. And they need locations because I'm trying to think, because proxies, we can just send, instead of writing to every single player, all of the packets, we write to proxies and we tell them who, and we leave it to the proxies to figure out who it should be sent to. So we say, hey, broadcast this packet to all players within a certain region. So the proxies need to also figure out, have an efficient data structure for finding players close to other players. Anyway, um, gosh, can I not go back beyond this? I don't know why it's not letting me. Oh, yes, it's because I was in this. So let me just get out of this so I can switch between them quickly. Let's see. So server incoming, and this one needed mutes. In this case, if we get an error, we don't actually want to stop the whole process. We just want to log it. Yeah, I mean, the complicated version is complicated. You can just think of it. I mean, but a lot of things are complicated when you go pretty deep down into things. Like all that's really relevant is you just want to find a way that you can query which entities are close to other entities without, iterating over every single entity. And these data structures are data structures which help you with that. So, what I'm also going to do in here is we are going to add a span here. Tracing info. Let's do a debug span. So when we're debugging, we can hopefully figure things out better. Value, can we go like this? Okay, yay. Let me just think if there's any other information that's helpful here. Okay, expected magic byte. Okay, so now we can decrypt all this, and this is we're going to want this to be mutable in this case. And this should be giving me a warning right now. So we're going to actually need this to be mutable. And it's actually decrypting in place. Which is why it's mutable. So it doesn't want to be allocating anything extra. Okay. Sure. I mean, I doubt that's ever going to happen. Unless usize is, I mean, this should actually never happen because this is going to be 4 billion bytes and we're only limiting it to like 64,000, I think, or something like that. 64 kilobytes or so. Okay. So decrypt, and then this is bytes. I don't think we can make this mutable. decrypt padded. Okay, yeah. I don't know why that. Anyway, okay. So decrypted bytes. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to see how this payload is constructed. So we're writing the type, process, decrypted bytes. Let's say process self, process decrypted bytes, cool. And then I think it's, yeah, we're just having one message per UDP packet, so it shouldn't be multiple. I think, in fact, we can just return this and remove this since this is going to be the end. Now, why is this not happy with us? I'm not really sure. Yes, it's because this is a vec. And we don't want it to be a vec. Okay, so we're going to put this in a cursor again. Packet ID. And I have all of these things. So the first thing that I'm kind of I think we should use all of these and then we can go like this. And then we're going to handle them differently. You know what I think we can actually do is we can say, and let me just verify here. I really don't like this whole enum setup because these are going to be of largely different sizes. But maybe we can be okay with it for now. I'm just trying to think if there's potentially any better way to do this. Okay, I mean, let's handle what's important first. So some of these are going to be like, we should not receive them from the client. So this should be bail. And I wonder if we can do this format correctly. If we do something like, and I honestly don't know if this one you can't receive or not. I just want to see if this, I just want to test to see if this is going to yell at us. This packet ID is not meant to be received by the server. And we need to go like this. Is this correct? Oh, wow. I was not expecting that to work. Interesting. And then this is actually going to be bail for a different reason. Is not a valid. Is an unknown packet ID. Okay. So there's an authenticate packet. And this authenticate packet here, player UID, player secret. You know, maybe what we want to do in this case is we just want to send over the byte in a channel to decrypt this. So maybe this whole, you know what? I think what we want to do in this case is we want to, because we want to get in a tight loop as fast as possible, because this is going to be reading things really fast. Like actually really, really fast. Um, and I wonder, can you receive, I mean, this is a thing for the future, I suppose, but like, can you receive UDP packets on multiple threads from the, actually, yeah, maybe we would just have like a process per thread. Yeah, I'm just thinking through how I want to build this. Yeah, let's just, okay. Um, yeah, maybe having like a process per thread architecture would be all right, maybe. Um, let's just do this in a simple way now, and then we can do it in a more complicated way later. Let's do this mostly synchronous, and then we could add channels, we can add bytes later. Packets. And this, I believe we'll need to add valence protocol. So we will need valence protocol equals, actually, let's get it from here. Because we need decode. And yeah, this actually doesn't take a cursor. This takes this, it should be a cursor actually, but it's not. Or it should be like impl read or impl buff read or a cursor, but that's not how it's bytes. Let me validate actually what we're doing first for 1 second. So we're writing, and then we are buffer dot readable bytes buffer. Okay. Actually, I'm kind of confused right now. What is actually happening? Buffer dot. So it's making like an empty array, and then these are some log messages I added. And this is returning a bunch of bytes, I think. So just getting a payload. Okay, I think I understand now. So bytes packet. Okay, I see now. Okay. So when it's doing 2 bytes, okay, I understand. So let's just call this packet bytes, and then we're going to position equals. I'm gonna do this again. And this is probably gonna yell at me because we need it separately, or not. Maybe this will yell at me in the future. Packet bytes. Okay, cool. So we get our authenticate packet, and okay, so actually, I just thought of something. So the authenticate packet is actually, okay. What is the purpose of the authenticate packet? I think it is for saying, because the authenticate packet is authenticated, no? Here, like if I look in here, yeah, getting the authenticate packet, and it is authenticated. So why is it needed? Um, I am trying to think because like everything should be in encrypted here. So yeah, I'm not really completely sure here. Um, to do why is this needed? So we already should have figured out the secret of the player. So let's just put secret in here. Secret packet dot just validate everything here. Secret let's go like this. Okay, and maybe this will error and help us understand why things are or aren't working. Okay, and this already knows, autocompletion already knows that we're going to want to acknowledge this. So, you know, maybe what we want to do is, we're definitely going to want to send back to this. We're gonna want to send back to this user. How do we want to do this? Well, we're gonna need to encode this. And okay, I'm just thinking. I think we're going to want to have a write buff here. So let's have a write buff. Read buff, write buff. And in this case, we are going to use we're going to use bytes mute. Okay. Let's actually add this. Let's add this here. Write buff. So okay, now when we're actually encoding things, I think we are doing something a little bit differently. So when we're encoding things from the server, so we're writing with the secret, it looks like, of that, or we're encoding with the secret, and then we're just sending over the magic byte and then the payload. Okay, so write, and again, this is not optimal design right now, so I'm not intending it to be perfect. So okay, packet impl encode. So buffer equals self dot write buff. We're going to want to make this into buff a writer. Writer equals this. Again, this is like a no op, so it doesn't really matter that much. Writer, and then is this going to return? Can we get like the position we're at? I'm just trying to think. Dot split removes the bytes from the current view, returning them in a new bytes mute handle. I don't know if this like does this advance the position. to do, will this work at the right position? And just because I do want to verify this, to send to client, um, we want to, let's just debug assert, not equals. Let's make sure it's not 0, right? And then, okay, we're going to need the actual address that we're gonna send back to. I just want to look at this example that we had here that Claude gave us. Socket.send to, okay. Now, do we have to do this synchronously is kind of what I'm wondering for sending. Socket.send to. Let me look at so receive from is self, okay. And socket dot, is this also going to be self? Okay, cool. So I think what we can do here is this is just really going to have, okay. I think what we can do here is we are going to want to make this an arc. Actually, let's do it here. Let socket equals arc new. Right, hello's part of the prelude. I guess it's not. And I guess we don't need mute here anymore, maybe. So, okay. Maybe what we're going to want to do is this is all of a sudden going to have this now. So when we're writing, and if we go back here, we have we're writing to an address, and the address is a socket address. Socket, so address, socket address. Is this this is a core socket address, cool. So, okay. We're going to want to get socket equals, okay, we're getting the socket, and then we can move this socket in, and then we do, I think it's write or send to. And does this write all? It is possible to yield. Here, let's see. Will send to write all bytes. Doesn't guarantee that all bytes will be written in a single call, especially for large datagrams. So like in rare cases, potentially. It usually means the datagram was truncated. Subsequent send to calls will create new datagrams, not continue the previous one. Okay. So it creates new datagrams anyway. So let's just say sent amount equals send to, we're gonna go like this. But expected length equals, okay. Actually, I think, okay. Maybe you can reuse that. Gonna actually warn. And I don't know why we'd want this as, let's just go like this. Okay. Else. perhaps we want this actually a match statement or something. Just so we can get the exact type of error. And then why is this? Wait, you need to return. Okay. Is this ideal? Should we be happy? To do better error handling, need to figure out how to idiomatically handle errors. I feel like I still don't know like how to idiomatically do some things with async stuff in Rust. Let's send him out here. Okay. And let's also or wait, how do we with I'm just trying to think. I think we just do with current subscriber. Okay. Cool. All right. To do probably not most efficient way to do this, perhaps. Okay. So what we should be able to do is just self dot write. Let's include the address here. And then this will also need the address. And then this will also need the address. And maybe you don't need to actually even return anything here, because this is just going to actually process it. Actually, it will need an anyhow result. There we go. Now why is this angry at me? Because it needs the address. Yep. And let's add tracing to these, because I like to be pretty explicit in this situation. Okay. And again, this doesn't need to actually be the packet anymore, because this is processing in place. Let's see what's up here. Does this actually need to be mutable? Yes, because we're using the right. Okay, cool. And why is this? Because we need to go like this, encode, and sure. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now we're gonna need to, on the game server side, actually do this Jetstream thing where we are sending messages to update the state. Also, here, okay, let's see how we want to actually handle these update messages. So again, we have our state here. I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a select here. So messages equals, and we'll probably need to implement this or import, I mean. Game server rx. Okay, I'm always bad at the select statements. Here, this is gonna be need to be mute again. So I'm gonna checkpoint. Let's checkpoint this. And then let's actually ask. Let's go back into cursor here. And let's ask Claude about this here. We're going to where were we? Yeah, here. I think this is not too bad. Rewrite such that we can select based on game server RX or socket receive from. First will update state. Second we will process packet. And I believe all this stuff should be the same, hopefully. I probably didn't need to select all of that. Okay, let's see if this looks like it makes sense. Okay. Sure, yeah, this will need to be mutable. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if to will Tokyo select ever be part of standard library? This would be pretty cool. I wonder what would need to be added to have something like that part of standard library. Or does it just rely too much on the Tokyo runtime? Like I know you can have future select, but and this is kind of agnostic, but maybe Tokyo select does something differently. Maybe it actually like spawns them, which anyway, I'm not really sure. Okay, so what? This is just to satisfy the return type. Yes, we don't want this. We actually want this to be this again. It is smarter than I am. Okay. If the game server channel closes, bail. Update game states. Cool. Okay. Match update. Just add all of these here. Actually, are these not methods on this? No, they aren't. Maybe they should be methods on the state. Okay. This is going to be lamb. Cool. Ooh, these are different defects. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's because Claude implemented it using our own version and not clones. Okay, cool. Let me see how long this has been going for. Okay, this has been going for about an hour so far. I'm trying to think. Probably gonna call it a day pretty soon. maybe we want to just make a little bit more progress and get this to actually say something. It's like, get it to send something more than get it to respond to an authenticate packet. So what I'm interested in doing is let's add a .env file. Let's make it so we can actually launch this. Actually, let's just go back here. Or no. Make example.env file for this. Okay. Sure, let's install plugins. I really don't know what these are going to do. Do we want to add these? You know what? I'm not really sure we do. Let's ignore for now. Okay. So if we do cargo run, this should probably panic somewhere because we actually, do we have this? Maybe it won't, actually. I'm not completely sure. Okay, this is not a... Okay, we need to actually make Bootstrap, properly Bootstrap. So server, we'll need to initialize this. Init config. And this does not have a default, but we can add it very easily. Okay. To do also, should we be reserving space here? To make it more efficient, maybe. I'm not really sure. I think so, though. Because I think there's something about bytes in Rust, like the create bytes, where it doesn't automatically allocate, apparently, like Vec does, but it doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe it does when you have a writer. To be honest, I really don't know. Sure, we can remove that. Let's see. The server, we need to make this packet processor in this case now. We're going to make this public, and then, okay, processor, and then I don't know if we need the config here anymore. I don't think we do. Run. And then this should be never type, right? Okay. And this needs to be like this as well. Or not, maybe. Oh. Okay. Yep, it's experimental, so we also need to add it to main. Makes sense. Again, I can remove this at any time. Missing value for field IP. Okay. IP. Like, we definitely have that there. So I think what we need to do is we need to add .env as well. .env. Wait, is there a thing called env? I feel like there's also .env in Rust. Okay. Oh, that's okay. .env. But does this combine multiple? Let's just look at this repository. Does this have a sufficient number of stars? Um, uh, duh, 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 duh. Give me like a simple. Okay, this actually has more stars. We definitely want this. I just want. I have a notification. Cool. Let's mark the system. Okay. End floater. It's unsafe. Let me just look in Envy first. If Envy has this from and okay. I think we want to do this. Because I think it technically is unsafe to modify in the new Rust standard library. But I'm confused here. What is up with this? Is this not called .env? Let's look in this. Maybe endFloater is feature gated. Come on. Yeah, if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna use .end. Okay, that's unfortunate. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I was using .env, so actually I want to put on your thing. .env. Maybe we can just do the same API as .env, but with .env. Whenever this actually loads. Okay. Let's see if this can find everything now. $400 CodeStream name already in use in different configuration. Okay. So I think we want to delete that, and then maybe this will work. Cool. Let's also add tracing subscriber to this. And now hopefully we should get some messages. Event connected. Equals debug. Is it Rust tracing use debug Rust? I think it's like Rust. Okay. And yeah, I think it's Rust underscore log. Equals debug. I think I should do this. Rust underscore log equals debug. Okay, cool. And we're getting these debug messages now. That is awesome. Cool. Cool. Let's just also add just some info here. And let's try to rerun it, and this should appear. Okay. It's on 8080. Let's change this a little bit. Let's use the default simple voice chat. Here, let's just get out of this for now. Let's use the default simple voice chat port. So the default simple voice chat port is going to be, I think I have it marked somewhere. Nope, I don't have it marked as a bookmark, how unfortunate. This 244, whatever that is. Okay. So if we do that, okay, let's just validate that. Actually, I don't want to run it from there. Let's run it from here. Let's run it. SVC. Rust. Let's run like this. Address is already in use because we are finding on this as well. So, okay. Let's see. We're going to want to take this out of here. Boop. And then we can run this. Then we can run this. And maybe something interesting will happen. We'll probably get like a invalid secret or decrypting was incorrect or something once we join. So let's try to join. Let's try to join. And nothing is happening. No. Let's make sure we have simple voice chat. Maybe we are not logging things well enough. So if you go into server, so we should get this. Are we running this in info or debug? Yeah, we're running this in debug. Like we should be getting that. Let me just let's just add this just to make sure we're all right. Okay, I don't even see the second one. So I think this receiver thing is, yes, this is definitely the issue here. So this should be in a Tokio spawn. Like so. Then I'm just going to unwrap on these. Of course, this is not how we actually should be handling them. So now let's see. We should probably be getting a warning logged or an error logged. Yes. Because, and that is the right UID, I believe, for me. So this is actually exactly what we want to see. Cool. So now we just have to implement this whole Jetstream thing. So let's remove this. This doesn't matter anymore. I'm just thinking how I want to do this. So we can remove this. We don't need all of this anymore. This UDP stuff. We just need the secret packet that we're already processing. And we're gonna also want to, so this is like over the actual Minecraft protocol. So before we ship to the UDP protocol, we do this. Let's actually generate, can we, this is gonna be really cool if this works. Does this work? Oh, that is gonna be unfortunate. Oh, okay. Here, let's see. OSRAN generate a, can we just do jet random? Generate a random UID. Also using rand create. Wait, is OS rand create this is needed? Let's see. Oh, yeah, it just uses the, okay. I'm just curious, if we were not using new v4, what could we use? Because yeah, I'm aware that we could do that. You can explicitly use, okay, yeah, sure, okay. Let's use the, nope. Wow, it like knows. That is actually really creepy. That the auto, it like knew that I was gonna do it the non, or was thinking about doing it the non-idiomatic way. Okay, we removed. Let's actually remove, uh, let's remove this variable altogether because we do not want that anywhere. That's just for testing. Let's see what Clippy is gonna say. Let's actually mark our location here so you can get back to it. Okay, Clippy is happy. Secret. Now we're going to want to again do this whole, we're going to have to do this whole uh this whole thing, right? So let me look in Jetstream GitHub Rust Nats GitHub Rust. I think we're really close to getting a simple version of just the, you know, first two packets over UDP. It's not actually going to be MVP, but I'll probably stop after I get there. So nats, async nats, that's what we want. We want examples. There's one with Jetstream. These are actually the same. These should probably be the same thing, I think. Let's actually make an issue. Defect proposal discussion. Is this a bug or an enhancement or a vulnerability? Let's say this is a defect. Examples should be merged. Pretty much identical. What I can tell. Do not have duplicate examples. You should just have one. Not relevant. Okay, this is probably not a defect, but I'm just going to make it under there. Probably not a defect. However, I did not know what to put this as. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Jetstream. Okay. Cool. So this URL, let's just initialize this here. Wherever the library is. This is actually getting to be a giant file. So this should, there should be some work on this at some point in time. Okay. Let's see. And then let's see if this is already added. I'm not sure it is. So async nets. Cool. Connect this URL, await. And we are not in an asynchronous environment. So let's do runtime dot spawn here. Oh gosh. Everything is kind of freezing. On my end, it is super, super slow right now. That is actually insane how slow it is. Wait, was there anything with ingress that I removed? I don't think there is. I think it was just auto completion. Okay. Dot unwrap. Not perfect that it's unwrap. Client at new inbox. Okay. Jetstream. Okay. And then, okay, that's just for the consumer. So I think we can do something like this, really, where we have this and then, okay. And I'm eventually gonna, this is all going to be moved to, this is all going to be moved to a separate module eventually. So it's not going to be as messy and janky as it is now. So, okay. I'm going to copy these over the player data here. Or actually, no, we want the message to voice. Actually, I think we can go like this. And we can add this. Is this going to be happy? No. Let's just go like this. Lamb. But then we need to make the Glam version earlier so that it works with Valence, I believe. So let's make sure this is gonna work here. Okay, that looks like it works. I mean, if we're getting those errors, I think it is. Game server messages. I just want to finish this up. I think it's going to take 10 more minutes or so. And then I think I'm going to be done. Game server messages. Did we not? Oh, maybe it's at the lib level. Yeah. So add player and update player position. We really only care about adding a player at this point, I think. So let's do that. Again, this should not really be in the top level here, but I genuinely don't really care that much. I am going to be lazy with this. So let's set a checkpoint here. Voice chat secrets. I'm just looking at all of this right here. And then we're gonna just do add player. So I think what we're going to want to do in this case is if we go here, we're going to want to go here, and we're going to want to send to, what is it? What are we reading from? Games.updates, game.updates, game.updates, and then why is this? Okay, yeah, we don't need this actually. Um, okay. So what do we want to do? And then we're just going to be reading from a channel. So let's say let nats tx nats rx. Okay, cool. And then while um and maybe this is some. Um Gosh, and how do we want to add this? Maybe we want to add this to it's actually kind of annoying me. Let's see in our context here, all of the stuff that we have in packet switch query. We have which singletons do we have? Okay. Um TX. Sure, let's just do this. This is and what is this actually called? I completely forgot. It is called and our bookmark just disappeared. Nats, that's what it's called. Nats TX. Okay. All right. And sadly, this is probably not super exciting to watch me do because the really fun stuff hasn't happened yet. I'm not actually messing around with entities and visual stuff yet, but it will hopefully be in the upcoming streams at some point. Then in this case, we're going to want to initialize. Okay, actually, how do you want to do this? Okay. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna want to set this as a singleton. Okay. Yeah, let's set this as a singleton. Nice component. What is this? Ingress module. So are we registering any components in here? Component. Um, well, let's world dot obstructs tx, and this is going to be this, and then we're going to derive a component. So we are going to register this. It's probably not even an appropriate place to put this, honestly. Like this is all very jank, to say the least. Very, very jank. And then here, let's just say this is B, and then this is A. And then actually, you know what? If we're going for ultimate jank here, let's just world.set. Okay, we're just gonna go like this for now. Okay. So I'm doing the absolute minimum, honestly. Now, this really confuses me. Why is this? Why is this like literally not resolving? Um, that's because I have it defined twice. I need to import this, I believe, or not. Let's just put it up here. Okay, cool. And then, okay, if we just get any message, okay, if we just get any message, we should be able to just encode it. So buff equals, let's see this. Encoded message. Okay, we only care about serializing. Okay, and let's not, okay, gosh, this is actually kind of annoying that it is auto-importing all of this stuff that I don't want it to, frankly. This should all be not our wrapper around UUID. Byte, what is it called? How are we decoding this? Messages. We are using bin code, that's what it's called. Bin code, bin code. Do we have bin code here? I do not think we do, or I think we don't. Add another dependency, because we have way too few dependencies. We only have like 20,000 here. So let's add another one for 20 different serialization formats. Serialize. I did not say Siri. Serialize. You know what? We do not care. This is going to be inefficient, but we do not care. To do inefficient. Bytes. Ideally, we would be doing it directly into. Okay. And I forgot what the documentation had here. Publish. It's this publish thing. Jetstream.publish. Wait. Oops. Okay. So this would be like game.updates, game.updates, bytes. It actually, I think it wants it as bytes. Okay. Bytes. Okay. And then await, unwrap, await, unwrap. Okay. Let's see. Is this going to actually no, it isn't because we need to actually send to the oh, okay. And hopefully we are not over the limit. What did we call this? TX something? Message game to voice TX. Hopefully we're not over the limit of components here. If we are, I'm going to cry. Oh my God. That is so unfortunate, honestly. Uh, okay. And then like if we go like this. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's, yikes. Like, I guess the plan is here to combine this into another singleton, honestly. Um, like, I don't really know, honestly, at this point. Um, like, we honestly do not care, which is actually pretty bad. But we do not care at all. Because we really want this to get done. Because I actually want to see something. And then we can care about it later. And I have this whole TX thing here. And then we are not going to do this anymore. We're actually going to delete this. Bye-bye. And then we are going to make this with nats TX. Okay. Please. Yep, and we don't need this. We say bye. And we're so close, actually. I'm very excited. And it's gonna compile, it looks like, but I don't think my brain is kind of failing me, unfortunately, but I don't think we're actually sending it yet. Yeah, so we're gonna need compose query.compose dot. You know what? This is jank again. And again, this unwrap is not perfect. Oh boy. Okay. And let's run this in debug mode. I don't want to recompile all valence. Okay. Is this gonna work? This is the real question. Let's see. What is gonna happen? Oh, something changed here. Not completely sure what. Oh, yes. How did I like undo? I think yeah, I did undo. Okay. Let's see. Error received bytes 82. The data is not padded correctly. Okay. Um, well, we're really close. I know we're really, 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 really close. This is gonna work very soon. Um, info sending to nats. Let's actually make this. What message? And okay. And secret, okay. The data is not padded correctly. So that is going to be here and decrypt. So you're decrypting. So I think probably what's happening here is that either the secret is wrong or here, let's just add um, debug, decrypting, payload of length with secret. It's probably not the best to be logging this stuff out. Doo probably do not log out secrets. But we're gonna be doing it for now. So AB 80, that looks roughly correct. So if we look at decrypts outside of test cases, secret rest. So does this include magic as well? Or what is up? Okay. So like we're definitely getting listing player position. Let's look at voice chat one more time. Let's close it with this because it looks like it's sending everything over correctly. B, C, okay. Read packet server, read packet from client. I think this is from client. Write from client. Okay. So if we're writing from the client, magic byte, UUID, which is sending. Then we're sending the payload. And when we're writing the payload, okay. So we should be logging this. So we can use yet another log here. So it should be node length. Actually, we're gonna go like this, dot length, and then it's gonna be divided by 2. So it should be 64. Packet length should be 64. And we're getting here, this is 82. So to me, that sounds a lot like we are not removing the actual like beginning part. So like again, we're getting 82 bytes. Should be getting 82 bytes. Or sorry, we should be getting 64. Rest should be 64. So like debug, assert, rest at length is 64. Now this isn't always going to be the case, but this is for this. Why is this angry at me? Do I need to say it's a use size? What is this? Okay. Like this should be 64. So okay. I'm just trying to think about this for a second. Okay, let's just run this and it should be. Oh, it's 65. 65. And okay, it's always 65. So it's like we have one thing. Actually, I feel like I feel like there's like one thing that uh okay. Bytes encrypted. So all of these bytes. Um this is really confusing to me. Like, where's this? Maybe it's like the packet length or something that we need to read. But we're reading the magic byte. I mean, here, let's just like, it is, okay. This should be somewhat interesting. So it's 64. Um, yeah, so it looks like it's like a length to me. It's saying it's 64. Yeah, that is definitely it. Okay. And is it a varant? Let's see. It's yes, that is 100% it. Um, it's writing in a spider array. I think that's prefixed with the varant. Yeah, so we're going to say we're gonna want to read let's encoded length equals var int decode partial. Okay. And instead we're going to do rest length is encoded length here. Um, um, okay. Come on. Why is this angry at me? Okay. We don't care. 0 and 0. What is this? Okay. Um, okay. So we're encoding this. But I want to split out the number of bytes written. So like, do we need to make a writer extension of bytes mute to get written bytes in writer? Like this would be really awesome if it returned the number of bytes written. Anyway. Oh, this is so close. This is so close. This is gonna take like 2 more minutes. Or like I'll say 10 more minutes. Um, let's actually use the example here. Um, so I just wonder if I do like buff dot reserve. Um, if I do this, will it here? I just want to see if this is gonna fix that or not. 0, 0. Okay. So I think writes mute writer get written write counts. Okay. Like I this is actually really confusing me now. Uh, let's make this implement debug. Let's just print this out. Encoding, just so we can make sure. It looks like this does not implement debug. Okay, it might legitimately be nothing. We need to also encode the type. Okay. So, encode. What we need to do here is let's do this. So we have all of our packets, and we implemented this for everything. Impl. Let's say they need to have encode first. Encode with ID, and then we can go like this. Yep. W.write U8. Okay. Help traits. Here. Right. Okay. Maybe use. But we don't have byte order. Okay. Or don't we? Do we not? Okay, maybe we don't. SVC proto. I'm so excited to see this work. And reload this. And ooh, there's an IntelliJ update. That is beautiful. Okay. And then we can go back and we can hope that this is going to work. And then we're going to do SVC packets. And let's also go like this. Great. Then let's implement debug for this as well. And let's see. Let's see if this works. Or even compiles. Encoding packet. Okay, that is great. What you're getting it to do here. Which is actually what we want. We want that. Mismatch types. We can actually have this as okay. Ooh, this is so nice. And it keeps on encoding this, it appears, but I don't think we are getting it. But okay, it's at least we are like we're actually encoding it and we're happy almost. Um, right. So we need to actually write the magic and everything as well. Um, okay. Okay. Magic. There's this magic. Is that all we're writing? I think that's all we're writing. Um, we're writing magic and then the length. So that is going to be kind of interesting. Let's just keep it out of there. So packet bytes equals vec. No, this is really jank. To do jank and allocation. Okay. So we are going to write to packet bytes here. And then what we are going to do is we are going to encrypt with our secret. So we also want the secret. Okay, encrypt with our secret. The data. Um, length. Bytes length equals expand packet bytes by, let's just say 32 bytes. To do is this enough? Okay. Or too little? Or is this too much? Probably too much. Then we can do this. Okay. Did and we're gonna turn this into a back. Sure. This is like really horrible code and really inefficient, but it's fine for now. Crypted. Okay. So now in the buff, we can actually buff dot buff. Let's make this a writer. Buff dot write U8 magic. Yes. And then encrypted dot encode because we were using valence. Make this mutable. And then cool. And then we can get inner and hopefully hopefully this works. Please work. Please work. Oh, yes, let's go. Let's go. Okay, yay, we got an acknowledged somewhere, I think. Trying to validate voice. Okay. Yeah, we got server acknowledged authentication. Awesome. Okay. And then it's just panicking. It's just panicking here because I don't actually have this implemented, right? So this is actually really good news. And yeah, it looks like we're pretty close. Also, you see it's taking up a lot of milliseconds per tick. Part of that is just because I don't have it in a release build. If I have this as in a release build, it will take less than 1 millisecond per tick. Um, oops. And most of that time is constant. So if you have like 1,000 players, it will still take about the same amount, which is really cool. So because the proxy is what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Anyway, I don't think this is gonna finish release build anytime soon because Valence takes a very long time to compile in release mode. But yeah, anyway, um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my live stream. I know I really enjoyed it. Getting this mostly to work. And I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day as I will. Anyway, see you next time, potentially tomorrow, but probably not because I think I'm gonna be going to northern Minnesota. Anyway, see ya.